Silo Season 3, Episode 3, A Dark Web, is where Juliette's controlled recovery becomes an open struggle over her mind. She still cannot remember everything that happened before her cleaning, but she no longer accepts the reality being handed to her. Camille is under pressure from the algorithm. Lukas Kyle is missing. Orla Kent's disappearance looks increasingly suspicious, and the Before Times investigation is getting close enough to the truth that evidence begins disappearing. By the end, the algorithm sees Juliette as a threat that may need to be permanently removed. And if you're obsessed with uncovering the secrets of Silo, breaking down every episode, and figuring out what the algorithm is really planning, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and leave your theory in the comments. I make these breakdowns all by myself, so your support genuinely helps. And most importantly, subscribe if you think you'd survive inside the silo. Honestly, most of us probably wouldn't. The episode opens with Juliette asking Jerry, the officer assigned to follow her, for privacy. Jerry is already uncomfortable with how closely she's being controlled, so he lets her continue alone. Even without her full memories, Juliette can still make ordinary people question the rules they've been ordered to enforce. While Juliette begins investigating, Nurse Amy tells Camille that Juliette has spit out her medication for 2 nights. The attempt to suppress her memories is already becoming harder to maintain. Camille takes the problem to the algorithm, but its response is far more extreme than increasing Juliette's dosage. It orders her to prepare vitamin D+ for the silo's water supply. This is not really punishment, it is mass control. The pills targeted Juliette, but placing vitamin D+ in the water would affect nearly everyone in Silo 18 without their knowledge. The purpose appears to be calming the population, weakening dangerous memories, and reducing the possibility of another rebellion. Thousands could lose important pieces of themselves without realizing anything had been done to them. Camille pushes back, directly questioning the algorithm. She understands that secretly drugging an entire population is an enormous step. However, the algorithm reminds her of the alternative, the safeguard protocol, which could destroy everyone in Silo 18. Camille is trapped between 2 terrible possibilities. She can manipulate nearly 10,000 people, including Sims and Anthony, or refuse and risk a deadly response. The algorithm does not call the plan morally right, it presents it as the only option that keeps the population alive. The Before Time storyline continues with Daniel Keene searching for answers about Charlotte and the other pilots. He meets the father of Juan Alameda, one of the men who died alongside Charlotte's squadron. Alameda's father says a contact may have recorded the final radio communications from the mission, but he warns Daniel to stop investigating and walk away. The warning suggests the families are frightened, although it does not prove who threatened them or how far the conspiracy reaches. It shows that the official explanation may not be trusted even by those closest to the dead. Daniel is dealing with people who fear what could happen if the truth becomes public. The episode also shows the mysterious man who had previously appeared to be watching Charlotte. This time, he's seen near the captain of the Nimitz. His presence suggests that Charlotte's mission may have been monitored or influenced by people higher inside the military structure. However, the episode does not confirm that he personally planned the operation, or explain exactly what he knows. His presence mainly tells us that the story surrounding the mission is being controlled. Helen's investigation costs her job, but instead of giving up, she joins Daniel more directly. Together, they locate a source named Steve in a secluded warehouse. Steve possesses a stolen 22-second recording of intercepted government communications, but he wants Daniel's badge in exchange for it. The episode never explains why the badge matters so much to Steve. It may prove Daniel's identity, provide leverage, or simply have value. Daniel agrees because discovering what happened to Charlotte now matters more than protecting the symbols of his office. Steve cooperates after learning Charlotte was Daniel's sister and hands over the recording. The clip does not explain the whole conspiracy, but it gives Daniel and Helen another reason to believe the government is hiding something about the squadron's mission. The cassette may contradict the public account. Back in Silo 18, Juliette goes looking for Paul Billings but finds his wife, Kathleen. Paul is investigating the disappearance of Orla Kent, the shadow to the head of supply. Juliette notices Kathleen's injured wrist and works out that she was probably one of the outsiders involved in the storage room confrontation. Juliette's memory loss has not destroyed her intelligence. She may not remember the rebellion, but she still notices details, reads nervous behavior, and recognizes when someone is hiding something. Juliette asks Kathleen about Lukas Kyle, and Kathleen tells her that Lukas is dead. Juliette has no proof in that moment that Kathleen is lying, but she does not accept the answer easily. Something tells her there's more to the story, even though she can't fully explain why Lukas feels so important.
Paul's investigation into Orla also becomes more complicated. Orla's parents and sister say she had seemed troubled before she disappeared. They mention a new boyfriend named David, who had previously been romantically involved with the former shadow to the head of supply. The connection is suspicious, but it does not confirm what happened to Orla. It may involve supply or something personal. For now, the episode only establishes that her disappearance was unusual and that people around her may know more than they admit. Juliette later confronts Robert Sims while he's taking Anthony to school. Sims is immediately uncomfortable seeing her near his son. He explains that Anthony has been waking up frightened because Juliette once held the family at gunpoint. Juliette does not remember the event, so she's forced to hear about something she did as though it were the action of another person. Juliette responds that at least Anthony still has a father because she cannot remember what having one felt like. The comment affects Sims, who knows her father died helping her. She has not only lost information, but access to the feelings connected to people who loved and sacrificed for her. When Juliette returns to Mechanical, Shirley confronts her about the note she sent asking for help. Shirley feels hurt because the person she considered her closest friend appeared to ignore her. Juliette responds by asking whether Shirley understands what it is like to look at someone who knows everything about you, while you cannot remember why that person matters. Both women suffer from the same loss differently. Shirley remembers their friendship but no longer receives Juliette's recognition. Juliette sees Shirley's pain but cannot reach the memories needed to respond naturally. Neither created the distance between them. Juliette asks to be taken to the Digger Void, where Shirley once brought Lukas. The route is sealed, so Juliette uses a rope to descend through the unfinished stairwell. She may be uncertain about her past, but she has not lost the stubbornness that makes her continue when everyone else says the path is closed. Knox eventually says he knows someone who may help, and they locate Mark Chambers because they believe he could know something about Lukas. Mark gives them little useful information, but Knox reassures Juliette that whatever happened to her, she is still herself. That matters because everyone keeps telling Juliette who she used to be. Knox does not demand that she become that person again. He simply reminds her that missing memories do not erase her identity. Juliette also notices that they are being followed, proving her survival instincts remain sharp. Camille learns that Juliette and Knox contacted Mark and discovers that he once worked in the mines. From there, she works out that they may be searching for Lukas below. She takes the information to the algorithm and asks how close Silo 18 is to another silo. The algorithm refuses to answer directly, but Camille understands the danger. Lukas had been Bernard's shadow, so he knew about the other silos and the restrictions against tunneling too far in any direction. If he has spent months digging horizontally, he may be attempting to contact another silo. The episode does not confirm how far Lukas has dug or whether he has reached anyone. The possibility alone is dangerous. Contact between silos could expose secrets the authorities have hidden for generations, so the algorithm treats the attempt as an emergency. Camille orders an unannounced fumigation of the mines. Officially, it's presented as a safety measure, but the timing makes it clear that the operation is meant to force Lukas out or prevent him from continuing whatever he is doing below. Juliette and Knox rush into the mines to help the workers escape. Juliette tries to assist a trapped miner with his mask, but the man panics and attacks Juliette. She collapses in the gas, and someone carries her away from danger. When the person removes his covering, Juliette looks at him and says, "Lukas." The moment confirms that Lukas is alive and that Juliette's memory suppression is incomplete. She does not recover everything about him, but she recognizes him enough to say his name. Some memories or emotional connections clearly remain beneath the surface. Their reunion lasts only a moment because security forces begin closing in.
Lukas runs and eventually hides in a storage room where he is discovered by the outsiders Sandy and Danny Bly. Their response will matter because they can either protect someone Juliette desperately needs or turn him over to the authorities. In the before times, Daniel and Helen return to Steve's warehouse for the cassette, but find the place ransacked. Someone arrived first. The episode does not identify who, but their investigation has clearly been noticed, and the evidence matters enough for someone to remove it. Back in the mines, an unidentified body is discovered after the fumigation. Paul Billings confirms that it is Orla Kent. Her death makes the earlier details about her behavior and relationships more important, but the episode still does not reveal who killed her or why. Orla may have discovered something connected to supply, but that remains a theory. Her death raises serious questions without proving that someone is systematically eliminating supply workers. We only know that she appeared troubled, disappeared, and was found dead in the mines. The final scene changes Juliette's situation completely. The algorithm tells Camille that Juliette's bravery during the fumigation has created an opportunity. Juliette risked her life to save workers, so the people of the silo may now see her as a hero. The algorithm proposes that Camille quietly kill Juliette and claim she died from injuries sustained while helping miners. Her death would look like a sacrifice rather than an execution, and could encourage unity and calm. That is what makes the plan so disturbing. The algorithm does not only want Juliette removed, it wants to control the story people tell about her after she's gone. When Camille hesitates, the algorithm reminds her why she was chosen to lead IT. It considers her ability to lie and manipulate people a strength. Her actions during the rebellion, her dealings with Sims, and her ability to play different sides prove she can do what the silo requires. The algorithm then asks why Camille spared Juliette after her cleaning. Camille admits that she admired her. Juliette asked questions nobody else dared to ask, and Camille wanted to see what she would discover. Camille eventually says that sparing Juliette was a mistake and that she will do whatever is necessary to remove her. The episode leaves some uncertainty about whether she truly means it or is giving the algorithm the answer it wants to hear. Either way, Juliette is now in more danger than before. By the end of A Dark Web, Lukas is alive. Juliette's recognition of him proves the memory treatment is imperfect. Orla's death creates another mystery, and the Before Times investigation has attracted people determined to bury the past. Most importantly, the algorithm believes Juliette may be more useful as a dead hero than a living threat. The question is whether Camille will follow that order or use her talent for deception against the machine controlling Silo 18.